is a fight I'm very excited for. Amanda Froelich against Carmela.
Chevere. Chevere. Carmela Chevere and Amanda Froelich. Amazing jiu-jitsu specialist.
I don't know if you heard about this, but you two right there, but there's dollar hot dogs. Did you hear that? They've slashed it to $1. And the popcorn, I think, slashed. That's new news to everybody, I think. Dollar popcorn, not free. Yoko Kowas is here. She won her last fight for Premier MMA. Stand up and wave at everybody. Yoko Kowas, Premier MMA superstar. Right there. And while we're talking about the lady fighters, ladies and gentlemen, introducing our next fighter, Carmela Chevere.
I was talking about Amanda before we went to Tom, but Carmela is a complete dark horse. She's been training with Drive MMA, personal project of Mojo Horn. So it should be interesting to see her striking and her ground ability.
Well, if it doesn't work out for her as an MMA fighter, I think she has a career as a dancer based on the skills I'm seeing. You mentioned a bit of a social media blackout. Like Mojo Horn doesn't necessarily allow a lot of her training to surface, and that's for good reason, correct?
Oh, definitely. The less you know, the more you're in your head, and the more you're trying to train for a ghost. So
I can tell you, from fighters that I managed, there were a number of teams that I had to scout out on behalf of guys like Matt Moore and Brian McDowell. So her opponent not having that ability is a benefit for her.
And her opponent, Amanda Froelich.
Amanda Froelich trains out of Victory MMA under Terry Blackwell and FFLA Boxing under Dion Montgomery. She has also trained in many traditional martial arts. Works as an accountant. Now she is a bit older to be debuting for MMA, 38 years old, and she has overcome a lot already. Tore her ACL and meniscus in 3 places at the end of 2015 in what her doctors said was one of the worst they had ever seen.
Amanda is a tough woman. I've seen like many of her grappling videos, amazing on the ground. Pretty much a encyclopedia of traditional martial arts. So this honestly is less of a debut and more of a coming out party for both of these women. And I can't wait to see what goes down, because we have the dark horse in Chevere, and we so far have the ground specialist in Froelich.
This fight, 39 is Froelich, 30 is Chevere. But man, you look at the physique on Froelich, that is special in its own. That is otherworldly. That is unfair.
Man, she said that one of her kids in her kids class called her the Demon Pixie.
I believe it. She looks like she is waiting for a ride from whatever spaceship is back, it dropped her off to just wreak havoc on this earth. She looks like she was built in a lab somewhere.
Definitely, all those years of work.
This is Premier MMA Championship live on Fight TV. And this is an amateur fight scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first in the red corner, she stands 5'2", fighting out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Representing Drive MMA and Gracie, Cincinnati, Carmela Chevere. And in the blue corner, she stands 5'4", fighting out of Canton, Ohio. Representing Victory MMA and FFLA Boxing, sponsored by On It and Combat Corner, Amanda Froelich.
This is one of the most anticipated fights on this card, and that doesn't often happen between 2 debuting fighters.
Yeah, that's all I heard leading up to this. Is just the hype surrounding them both. And we finally get to see it.
Which is nice evidence to where they are on the card. Very late in this card for two debuting fighters. We are underway, and Chevere throwing down early.
Heavy hands.
Drags Froelich to the ground and is working from side control.
Like I said, Froelich is very well versed on the ground, so we have to see where Chevere is as far as her jiu-jitsu. Like I said, she's been completely blacked out as far as being able
Froelich
to
getting
scout.
high, or was working to get high on the body of Chevere with those legs, but it didn't work out. So now she's going to the body with strikes. Chevere just trying to tame Froelich at this point.
She just transitioned to that half guard.
Looking to isolate the arm. Does so and then goes to the body with an elbow. Elbows to the body are legal in amateur MMA. Elbows to the head are not. Now she's looking to break the half guard essentially and step over, or maybe just retain side at this point. You'll notice that Froelich also has laced around the arm, pressing up against the head of Chevere. You'll also notice the beautiful green nails of Chevere. She is also a nail tech.
Hey, you gotta look good when you come in here to smash somebody's face.
Moves into mount.
She has the legs grapevine.
And she will look to nail down Amanda Froelich. We are just over halfway into this opening
there
round.
it is. There goes raining down. Raining down those hammer fists.
Chevere unloading on Amanda Froelich.
And there's no response from Froelich. She's trying to control her, but
Amanda Froelich grabs the back of Chevere's head.
she's having so many problems.
Trying to quiet the storm.
So heavy-handed. You hear those strikes just thudding.
Froelich looking to essentially buck and roll, push off the hips of Chevere, try to create some sort of distance between the two fighters and change the momentum.
Chevere just shut it straight down, and she's continuing her onslaught.
Froelich does survive the early storm of Chevere, but now some more hammer fists coming her way.
And she is against the cage, and that is not good at all. Chevere just every little crack and crevice she's driving her fist through.
Thus far, we haven't seen any offense out of Froelich besides strikes from the bottom, and none that are really that effective. Chevere is putting the pain on Froelich in this first round.
Yes, she did. And like I was saying, like it's the company she keeps.
Oh, that's it.
Wow,
It's
she's
done.
out. She is out.
Chevere gets it done in her debut.
Chevere just
Check out the look
Froelich
on
to
Billy
sleep.
Donovan's face, on Turtle's face at cage side. They can't believe it.
This is
That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. This I saw Mojo Horn at weigh-in and before this fight, and he looked like an expecting father. And I know he's so proud. Like, he's so proud right now to see his protege just.
You heard the hype for Chevere. You talked about it earlier, the blackout on social media, essentially. Look at
There it
Mojo
is
Horn
then.
in the replay. Mojo Horn screaming along. Look how he's scaling the cage.
Yes.
He scaled the cage. What an unbelievable performance from Carmela Chevere. Unfortunately, Froelich is up. Doctor's tending to her. She looks to be all right.
She looks to be all right. She's definitely loopy, like that's for sure. There was some heavy hands by Carmela Chevere.
And Chevere checking on her opponent, very classy in victory. And for somebody who has overcome so much as Froelich has, you got to believe this is heartbreaking for her to experience.
But you have to give it up to Amanda Froelich. She
Ladies and
came
gentlemen,
in game.
2 minutes and 55 seconds into round number 1. Referee Chris Kindon stops this fight due to unanswered strikes. Your winner, Carmela Chevere!